this computer. All right, welcome back to another episode of Summon Your Superhuman podcast. Today, I bring you an absolute superhuman, superwoman, all the way from LA. Her name is Monique Mannen, and she's an actress, a dancer, producer. But I mean, look, all those things, she's just an amazing human being, and that's how we got connected. And I am very proud to introduce you all to her today. Welcome to the show, Monique Mannen.
Hi, Ria. Thank you for having me.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I mean, in all honesty, we've already been speaking for about an hour before I hit record. So that's how, exactly. That's how much we can this is how we get along so well. But today I wanted to tap into, obviously you were a dancer from a young age. If you could speak to us about that, like how old were you when you started? Like, how did you know that was your passion?
6 years old. I knew it. Since 6 years old, I knew that's what I was going to do. That I even had debates. That's a real nice way of saying it, debates with my mom, because I inherited her smarts. And she felt like the teacher would come back. Why is Monique wasting her time? Because she's so smart, she can do anything she wants. And finally, I had to tell my mom, I said, but Mom, that is a degree that I'm going to get for you to put on your wall, not for me. That's not my passion. And so I listened to my passion, and she finally heard me and let me do my thing. And, and I just knew, I always knew. And when some people, they plan on something, but they have a plan B and a C in their back pocket. Mm-hmm. That was my A, B, C, D, E to Z plan. I knew that's what I was going to do, period.
Yep.
Period.
You just knew it so deep in your heart that's what you wanted to do.
In every pore in my body. Yes.
What was that breakthrough moment where you may have seen the light that it was actually going to become a reality for you?
I had won 2 dance contests. One was I was at the ballet academy when I was 12 years old, and I would have to get after school, on a bus by myself to another town 30 minutes away, walk from the bus station to the dance academy, and I would do that every day. And so there was ballerinas. And I'm not a ballerina. So in the dance contest, by the way, I did Tina Turner. I danced to Tina Turner.
That's awesome.
Rolling.
Oh, I love her. Yeah. Awesome.
And the thing is but that's when the teachers realized that I was supposed to be on stage, because I really showed my passion came through that form. And not through, everybody has their lane, right? There's some people that are meant to be ballerinas. Some people are meant to be this. I knew that I was not meant to be a ballerina. First of all, I had bow legs. So when you were on point shoes in with bow legs, it's like, straighten your legs. They're straight. Straighten your legs. They're straight.
Yep. Awesome. So you won this. So you won 2 competitions. You said so. One was
that one, and the other one was in a club. Believe it or not, I know I was going to clubs at 14 already. I was. They had a Sunday club called Van Dyke on Sunday afternoon. I would go to that, but the other one was Cartouche. Oh, that was the time of my life. They had a dance contest. They had a disco dance contest, and the prize was a trip to New York.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. Went to New York with my dance teacher as chaperone. And I went to see Alvin Ailey perform. I saw Dreamgirls. I saw the Broadway musical Dancing from Bob Fosse. And Lord have mercy, the pearly gates of dance heaven opened up for me. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is it. Because in Holland, I already started doing TV shows. And I kind of felt like I hit a ceiling there, and I just knew it. I told my mom, I have to be there. And she was like, Monique, you're underage, and then she tried to scare me. She was like, I'm not supporting you. And I was like, fine, Ma, I get a job. And I went back and I was you know, the angels were looking after me because, that time New York was not as clean as the clean New York it is now.
Yeah.
And there was a Caribbean lady there that was the manager of the Vanderbilt YMCA. And please forgive me, I don't remember her name, but that woman took me under her wings. And I think it was Miss Sloan, but I'm not sure. But that woman took me under her wings and really looked out for me. She gave me a job. I was the hospitality desk. And because I could speak English and Dutch, and I could understand a little German. And I would walk. I went to Alvin Ailey and I said, I want to dance with you. And they were like, do we want you? I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was not, there was no thought in my mind. There was no time for fear. It was just like a tunnel vision happened. It was like something did like this. So I didn't see the crime in New York. I didn't see the really the danger for a teenager by herself there. I was tunnel vision. I was complete tunnel vision and completely had my eyes on the prize.
So how old were you when you moved there?
16 and a half.
And you moved there by yourself?
Yes.
That is incredible. Wow.
I changed my birth date. I changed my at that time it was so easy to get you need a social security card to get, to work. And didn't have to show your birth certificate, didn't have to show none of that. I got a social security card like that. I just changed the number, the last number on the digits, made myself older so I wouldn't have any questions. We need your parent's signature.
Yeah.
Made myself 18.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Right, okay. So you're 16 and a half and you're now in a new city, new country, and you've honed in on that tunnel vision. So that just speaks, so clearly to where your mind was at. Like you were confident, you knew exactly, and you weren't going to let anything stand in your way.
That's right.
So what was the first gig? What was your first thing that you lined up?
The first thing that I was dancing with concert dancing.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, while I was at Alvin Ailey, I had scholarship with Joffrey Ballet, Alvin Ailey, and with Martha Graham, right? But all three were in a triangle in New York, and I would walk to everything to save money, right?
Yeah.
And then I chose Alvin Ailey because Alvin Ailey, you have everything. You have the ballet, you have the jazz, you have the Martha Graham, you have the the African, you have everything there, jazz, everything. Beautiful. And another story for knowing I knew my worth very young on. So the thing that I really want to hope for people listening is know your worth. So here I was at Ailey, right? And I had gotten into the third company, but because I didn't have my green card, they couldn't take me, right? So they gave me scholarship. I'm like, great, I'll do that. And then I literally looked around the class. Who is the best one in here? Literally, that's how focused I was. You, okay, I gotta pass you up. Took me a year to pass that person up because I was so focused because I knew I had to pass that up. I need to pass her up because otherwise she's going to get the job, right? Mm-hmm. And then they told me, Monique, we want you to audition for third company. Mind you, this is a year later. I'm a year better. I know I'm a year better because I passed the best dancer in the class up. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so they said to me, we want you to audition for the third company. I'm like, what? I already got that a year ago. No. You need to talk second company or first company with me right now. And, you have to understand, Alvin Ailey is an institution. It's almost like godlike dance, and it's like you better gravel. And so they didn't know how to deal with me when I just was like, no, I already did that. No, that's past. We got to talk second company or first company right now. And I could see the comfortableness. Like they were looking at me like, who the heck does she think she is? And it was not about cockiness. Yeah. It was not about thinking that I would felt better. It was just 1 + 1 is 2. To me, it was like, I auditioned for that last year. I got it. I'm a year better. So why are we talking about that one now? Mm-hmm. we need to talk about the next level. That's all. It was nothing about ego. It was nothing about, I'm so great, I'm so fabulous. It just didn't make sense to me, right?
Right.
And so then I went home to the Netherlands, and I came back, and they were like, okay, let's talk about your future. And they told me my scholarship schedule. I'm like, oh, no, I'm out. Bye-bye. No, that's not good enough. Sorry. And as a matter of fact, till today, one of the directors, this is how, when she bumps into me, she goes like this: "Hi, Monique." Like, how dare she? So I start dancing with George White Ensemble, Elliot Pomari, who is, oh my goodness, what an artist. What an amazing artist. Like, when I dance with him, you're just not a dancer. He creates artists. He wants you to read, like, he had this piece called The House of Bernarda Alba. It's a book. And I don't know if it was called The House of Bernarda Alba. No, it was not. The book was called The House of Bernarda Alba. And he made you read the book. He wants you to really get the character. Who are you portraying? So you can really become the character. And got New York Times, in the calendar section, front page. And that got the attention from Alvin Ailey again. And they were like, we want you to come for a private audition. And I didn't want to go, because I was like, nah, they just messing with me so they can make me, they can rub it in my face again. Like, we have the power. We're not giving it to you. And I was like, no, I'm not going. And then one of the dancers that was in the company I was dancing with, she was roommates with Donna Wood. Donna Wood was like the prima dancer from Alvin Ailey. And she's like, no, Monique, no, they really are talking about you. You need to go. You must go. So I went, and it was like 5 people, including me, auditioning. Alvin was there, and Alvin is just a lovely teddy bear. And that's why anybody that has met Alvin Ailey, there's an awe. There's an awe about him as a human being, as an artist, as a choreographer, as, and a lover of dance, and beauty, and that's when they didn't choose me. They chose the other person, but it was still that till today, I'm an Alvin Ailey dancer to the bone, because after dancing with that dance company, there was one dancer that had danced with Alvin Ailey, that had danced on Broadway, and she had given 20 years of her life, right? Yep. And she couldn't pay her bills. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to give 20 years of my life and then I can't pay my bills. So I moved from concert dancing to commercial and went for the money. So as the real dancers, I was a sellout. I went for the money. But if I would have continued in concert dancing, I would have wound up at Alvin Ailey, because the other 2 dancers, from the 5 of them, they all eventually wind up in the company. But that's not the journey I want to do. So that's why, for that reason, I feel like I'm a former Alvin Ailey dancer. Yes, ma'am. Because I would have, you know what I mean? If I would have stayed in line, and I would have. But no regrets. No regrets. I still adore that company. They really, hands down, what Alvin created, and so a lot of these guest choreographers, what they created for the company, just breathtaking, just absolutely breathtaking. And so my first jobs was I did a Japanese commercial. I did videos. I became the video queen. Did a film called what's it called? God, what was that movie? That was my first job. Playing for keeps. And then I did the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade, and BB Newworth, that was she did Chicago, named all kinds of Broadway shows. She was a star in a lot of the shows, and she also was on Frasier. And, so it's just like the history of the dancers that I've worked with. And then you see them, winded up, just breaking out and moving on. But she never walked away from dance, though, because she constantly goes back to Broadway and does Broadway show, And so then I did then I did Chorus Line, and I auditioned. Well, that's the one you really wanted me to talk about.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about knowing your worth, and I remember the first time we connected, and we were talking about our, dance. Well, I can't say I had a dance career in comparison to yours, but yeah, that story about you coming. So you tell it. You were coming back from a previous job you just finished.
Yeah, I was in Israel, and I was leading the show, and I was there for 8 months, right? And Donnie McHale that did Sophisticated Ladies. He did numbers for Alvin Ailey, beautiful choreographer, rest in peace, a beautiful human being. He choreographed it, and I couldn't sing, so they had me rap.
Nice.
They had me rap in the show. And it was with break dancers. So it was a very hip, it was called Dancing Streets. And I got back to New York, and I found out they were on the 8th callback for Chorus Line, the movie. And I was like, wait, that's not fair. So I went to the callback, because in every being in my body, I believed that if I would have been in town, I would have been on the list for the 8th callback. So I literally went to the table. When you go to, the audition, there's a table literally almost blocking the door to get into the room. And she looked at me. She said, "What's your name?" And I gave her my name, and she looked at the list, and she was like, "I'm sorry, not on the list." I said, "I should be. Serious as a heart attack." I didn't lie. I didn't lie. I said, I should be. Keyword, right? Yep. I said, I should, because I really believed in all my being that I should be. And she let me in. I got the job.
You not only got the job, you got the starring role.
No, I didn't starring role, of course. I did not.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No.
But you definitely commanded your presence. Like, you were just like, I'm here.
Yes. And yeah, no, I didn't get, I had like a little feature spot in it, because the choreographer was so cool. He knew that was the first time I was in there. As soon as I walked out the door, he followed me. He said, great job. I love you. And I was like, well, thank you. And then he gave me a little feature spot in it, because the Chorus Line is about, there's only one person of color that is in the line. It's the Black guy. And then there's the Puerto Rican girl. That's it. Okay. And there's a girl, and that's it. And so, there was nobody else on the line that was needed, there was room for me. But it did give me a feature part in that. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, you speak about, like, if you had stayed in line and followed the path, and you would have got the same result as the other students that, you were side by side with once upon a time. And it speaks mountains to the fact that, well, if you'd done that, you wouldn't have lived such the colorful life you have, having done all the amazing work and features, and Fresh Prince of Belair, and being in Prince's video Kiss, and and with Eddie Murphy and things like that. Like, you've done so many incredible things. So it's no wonder you have no regrets, because you've made the most of your opportunities, for sure.
Right. Well, because you know what, I learned early on, and I really didn't know that I was doing that. That you gotta have to have multiple streams of income. You just can't rely on one stream of income. And I didn't know that. It was instinctual. It was instinctual that I was like, okay, because if you do a dance job, you don't get a dance job every day, right? It's time in between. So I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do between. So I started doing modeling, and then, okay, now what? Then I gradually got into acting, right? So it's like, that's why I was always working, because if I wasn't working in this field, I was working in that field and in that field. And another thing, because, they always say, what's the word that I want to say, because as a young age, I already knew how to present myself powerfully, because there was a saying in Los Angeles, was a bunch of hogwash. Dancer, actress, model, whatever, like because you're dime in a dozen, whatever. And so I knew that I had to solidify myself and make me stand apart And so I wind up getting one of the top agencies. So as soon as they would go, so what do you do? And I could see their eyes, I'm a dancer, I'm an actress, I'm a model. And they're like, yeah, right, dance, actress, model, whatever. And then they go, who's your agent? And I go, William Morris. And I really want to say William effing Morris. Because I knew they were trying to belittle me, and it's shame on them, really. And, you okay? Yeah. And, and so shame on them. But the thing is, like, I knew I had to position myself with that agent to give me credibility, to be taken serious and not just be a number, like dancer, actor, model, whatever, You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Everyone, I mean, it's everyone's trying to fight for their position, right? So like you speak about the importance of presenting yourself. I feel like there was probably more to the way you presented yourself than just saying, hey, I'm part of this agency though. Like you've just got a presence.
It shut them up. It shut them up immediately because they were like, oh, you just can't get that agency unless you really are what you say you are. You know what I mean? You just can't get that agency. You really are legit. That agency makes you legit. And it's sadly that I needed that agency to give me the legitimacy. I would think the jobs would give me the legitimate.
Right.
Well, exactly. But I guess it was not enough for
Hollywood.
LA, Hollywood. Yeah. Because they just put every woman on the same thing, dancer, actress, model, whatever. Right. No respect.
Well, that's another thing as well. I mean, Monique, you were coming out of a time where I guess women weren't on a level playing ground either,
Right. And that's why I love your background, my darling. I love that movie speaks volume to every woman out there. Wonder Woman.
Hell yes.
Hear us roar. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Amen. Well, I mean, like I said, you were in a time where you really had to fight for your place because women weren't, were the minority, so to speak, and you fought your way.
Yeah. And that's why I started producing, right? That's another reason why I started producing. And I became a mentor. Bill Duke was my mentor. And he always was saying that to Monique, just don't be an actress. Don't just be a model. Don't just be a dancer. In order to have longevity in Hollywood, you gotta be power in the pen, start producing, create your own shows. And especially now, anybody that has an idea in the head, you put it out there, start on YouTube, start a webinar. There's no excuse now that you don't have to rely on the Hollywood studios or the big guys to get your stuff out.
It's a different world now. And speaking of shows, you are producing your own show at the moment. You want to tell us about that?
Oh, yes. So that show started out that I wanted to do, a movie honoring dancers, but also have a learning tool for the baby dancers out there, because I've seen so many dancers that, in your heart, in your soul, you think you're going to dance for the rest of your life, but your body will go, nah, I'm finished, and then emotionally, a lot of dancers are not prepared to be finished. And so a lot of them go in depression. And so I really wanted to put some light to that and put some light to their career and to put it on Memorex, their part that they brought to, how they have paved the way for me, for the other dancers coming up, and really give them their sunshine that they deserve, but also have an element of, for the baby dancers coming up, like, okay, this is what they did. That won't be working. Maybe this is what this person does now. Maybe that's something that I could do after dance, just basically an eye opener for them to, okay, yeah, you can go do your dancing thing. Because I loved every second of my dance career. And I just wish, because to me, it was just like a job. To me, it was like, I'm a plumber, I'm a hairdresser, I'm a waitress, whatever. That was my job. So I wish I would have. So working with the big names, it didn't even, it was, you know what I mean?
You were professional.
But now looking back, I wish I had taken the pictures with them. I wish you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, for my kids and my grandkids and grandkids, you know what I mean? And I wish that I did now. But, you know, hindsight 2020, it is what it is. And so that's what I want to do. So it started out with that I wanted to honor dancers. So then I start talking to a couple of producers, friends of mine. So here, if you have an idea, not necessarily that you need all that money, you need all that big budget, you need all the crew and all that stuff. And all their response was, you're not going to make money with a documentary, and you're not going to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish to get the sunshine of this dancer all over the world, to really get a wide audience. I said, you're going to get that on YouTube. So there you have it. So I'm going to do it on YouTube. And then I have a health and wellness business. I've become a health advocate. And so doing that, I was meeting people and their testimonials. So I started taping that. And then just meeting people, I was hearing their stories. And I was like, everybody has a freaking story. So the show is called Monique Mannen Presents Tell Me Your Story.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because we all got a story, right?
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm tweaking it because the first one that I put out, because I met this amazing guy. He's the second episode, and it's William Hung from Idol fame. And I literally met him, and I was like, I gotta get you because your story is so powerful. People need to know. People need to be inspired by your story. And if you see it, you know, because he only gave me one time slot. I literally am on film with my hair wet because I grabbed it. And so I'm stepping up and polishing it up, and you know, and showing up powerfully with the show. So now we're tweaking it, and come January, coming out full bang with it. So yeah, hopefully by then you can put the link then of the show that they can come check it out, because we got some really great guests on the show. Really, really great. Yeah, great stories, great inspirational stories. You know,
I don't doubt it at all. So I don't doubt it at all. And I look forward to that. And this show that we're on right now, I wouldn't have, you know, been producing it if it wasn't for this year and everything that this year has brought. And, you know, we're a few days out from Christmas now, and we're due for a January release. So I'm definitely going to, 3 days in Australia, Monique. She held up 4 fingers, and I'm like, nope, not in Australia. We get Christmas first. But yeah, no, definitely. There will be a live link in this podcast for you guys to click on and check her out and check out her series, because it's going to be phenomenal, no doubt. So yeah, I honestly, I mean, look, I'm not even sure how long we've been speaking for, but I know you and I can jam all day, all night,
all night.
Which I am looking forward to the time when I'm coming back to LA and we get to meet in real life and hang out. It's going to be incredible. But I have one final question for you, and that is, what does it mean to you to summon your superhuman? Or what does that mean when you hear that phrase, summoning your superhuman?
You know what? I have gone through evolution. Is that the word even? You know, my superhuman now to me is being in gratitude, in complete gratitude, and being still.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful stuff right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It really, that's it. Yeah. You know, this whole madness really put things in perspective, doesn't it?
100 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. I think in a few words, you've really just summed up a lot. And for those who aren't watching the video, I have a very powerful image of Wonder Woman standing behind me. And that is basically Monique in a nutshell. Just still, powerful, grateful, and just full of love. Yeah. I think, you know, looking back, you've summoned your superhuman on a countless number of occasions. And that's why you've been able to achieve what you've been able to achieve, because you've been so narrowed down and focused on what you want and passionate, that you just went after every opportunity and everything that your heart was calling for. So yeah, you definitely have learned the power of summoning your superhuman, and now you just live in grace and gratitude of everything that you've been able to accomplish. And it's not, you know, it's not by any stretch the end. You've got so much more. Like, now you're honed in on the show, you know why you're doing it, and that's why it's going to be a success.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then I have another mission. I'm you know, a movement that I started. It's like to help 1 million people to have quality of life and have you know, there's a saying that, you know, Prince says it perfectly: age is nothing but a number. And as people get older, they feel like, oh, my knees, oh, my hips, and they feel like they have to accept it. No, you do not. No, you do not. You do not have to accept it. You know, you can activate your life to feel better and do more. And so that's my second passion. It's like really to, you know, because I was sick for 3 years, and then I lost my career like that because it took them 3 years to figure it out. And so for me, it's so important that people know that there are options, but also for people to become their own health advocate and know what they're putting in their body. Read labels, you know, not only what you put in your mouth, but read labels on what you put on your scalp, on your skin. And it's like, get the free, it's a free app called Think Dirty. Get that app, and you can scan the product to see if it's dirty or not. And because 60% of the products gets absorbed in your skin. And there's a lot of hair products that causes dementia, a couple of ingredients in it. So really be aware, just become your own health advocate. Ask questions. You have the right to ask your doctor, your provider, questions. Why are you putting that in my body? What are the side effects? So then you can make a decision. Do I want to have those side effects? You know, because sometimes the side effects are worse than the symptoms, you know. So and then it's a Band-Aid. So my thing is like to educate people and teach people that you don't have to Band-Aid. You do not have to Band-Aid your life, and you can live life to the fullest, and really realize that age truly is nothing but a number.
Amen. Drop the mic. That's, that's it. Preach. Like, I mean, you know, I don't need to say anything more. People know me. They know that I have very similar values to everything you've just said. So thank you so much for your time and your beautiful energy. And yeah, I look forward to staying connected with you. And
yes, I'm looking forward to it. I love your skating. I love that video.
Well, you're at
heart.
Pull out your skates, girl. I want to see you.
Yes.
That's the next video I want to see. But nonetheless, thank you so much, Monique, for your time today. And I hope everyone takes some good nuggets out of this, and all the best.
My pleasure.
Thank you.